Now,
Great to see you again, Don. How are you
it's
going?
great to see you, Nicole.
This is interview 2 of 3 with Berkeley Insurance Australia, and today the topic is resilience. Berkeley have chosen to support Beyond Blue for their charity as they provide information and support to help everyone in Australia achieve their best possible mental health, whatever their age and wherever they live. We have picked these interview topics of community, resilience and gratitude to tie in with the information that Beyond Blue provide on mental wellbeing. Don Elgin knows a thing or two about resilience and is kind enough to share his wisdom with us today. Don, I think we were both given a few lessons about resilience from those brutal training sessions with the great Roy Boyd and Justin Lewis at Sandringham Athletics Club.
Oh, isn't
Good
that
times.
the truth? Yeah, I tell you what, right when you think you know what you're doing, and then you're smacked down to reality, and then you find yourself going, "Geez, this is not pretty. We've got to reload and go again." And I think any sort of sport where you're pushing yourself, it's just a great reality check. When it comes to resilience and what it takes to continue to fight back to be better. But over the years, Nicole, I've been looking at it. You know what? The funny thing is I couldn't even spell resilience up until a few years ago. And the reason is because I never heard it. What I heard as a kid was get up, you'll be right, have another crack. And that for me is the epitome of the definition of what I believe is resilience is just to get up and have another go when things don't go to plan. And over the years, being a speaker and having the good fortune to travel and share, what I started to do is go, well, get up and have another crack. That's really old school and tough love. But what is it, if we were to break it down, what does resilience actually look like? And so for me, I come up with 4 simple, very, very simple cues that we could use to help build resilience. So the first one is to identify. To realise that, okay, right now I'm in a situation I don't want to be in. So in other words, I'm down on the ground, I'm looking down at the fact that half my leg's missing, it always has been, by the way, but and I'm reminded that I've got a choice. What do I do with this? Okay, but the fact is that I need to identify that this is not where I want to be. The next thing I have to do is I have to consider that I have to genuinely believe that I need to be able to commit to getting help. So in other words, I need to agree that I need to change this. Okay, so commit to that. And the reason we have to commit to it is somebody comes along and says, "Oh, do you want a hand?" and wants to help us when we're down and out, and we're not ready to commit to that, then that's effectively useless. We're not going to be able to embrace it. The next thing is to agree to accept that help, to hold on to that help, and sometimes it's not there. Sometimes we have to go and look for it. So we have to actually seek out help. We have to ask other people, seriously, ask for advice. And when we see what Beyond Blue do, that is awesome. I mean, they are there purely to provide that help. The 4th thing that helps build resilience, and this is my favorite, is to celebrate. When we find that we fall over and then we identify that we're not where we want to be and we seek help and we get change, then we get growth. That growth needs to be celebrated. So every time when we look back at where we were and where we've got to, and we celebrate that, it builds our character to ensure that we don't stop there, that we continue to grow. So I love it. Resilience is one of those things for me that I'm forever needing to tap into, and I love looking at other ways that other people are super resilient in their life.
Absolutely. Thanks for those insights. Was there a particular time in your career that you were able to draw on resilience that you didn't even know you had?
You know what? We talk about reality check. I remember, and you would know this, Nicole, with when we used to do testing. So every month or two, we'd go out and the coach would have their clipboard and you'd go through all the results. I'd competed at the Sydney 2000 Games. I'd won a bronze medal. I was the 3rd best athlete in the world in the pentathlon. And I come back to training. I had a couple of months off, put on a bit of weight, actually put on a lot of weight. I couldn't even get my running leg on. I have different legs for different sports. Couldn't get my running leg on because I'd put on too much weight. Ended up losing that weight, come back, and we did testing pretty much straight up, my first session back. At the end of that testing, so this is in January 2001, and my coach, Roy Boyd, had the clips and had all the results of that day's testing. And I knew right then that I was shot. It was all over. I sat down and I'm crying at the steps of Sandringham Athletics Club. And coach came up to me and said, mate, what are you crying for? And I said, oh, well, you've got the clipboard, coach. You tell me. They're the worst results I've ever done in my life. And he said, mate, what's your goal? I said, well, our goal is to be the #1 athlete in the world, coach. He said, you're right. And what's the time frame? And I said, it's the 2004 Paralympic Games. He said, so you're crying now in 2001 about something that we've got 3.5 years to work on. So maybe we can dig a little bit deeper and reset and go again. And at that point, that was the great uppercut that I needed around perspective, around fighting that resilience or finding it to be able to go, nah, let's go again. You know, I'm out of whack with my thinking. And when you tap into that sort of reality check and support network around you, that's when you go, hang on a minute, I've got this, let's go.
Absolutely. I think perspective is really important when you think you're in a really tough situation and you don't think you can possibly do something. And then you put things into perspective and say, well, actually, I have done similar things to this before, and there's no reason why I can't do it again. So that gives you a little bit of extra strength and resilience to keep moving forward and find the help that you need and to achieve your goals.
Oh, 100%, Nicole. And I think you only need to do one big thing in your life, and you can keep coming back to that and drawing back on that to say, well, hang on, this situation I've got right now is not as big as that one was, and I got through that. So we're allowed to talk to ourselves, and the more we do that, the more we can inspire ourselves to get the outcomes we want.
Well, I think we could talk about this all day, but that's probably all the time we've got for now. Just one little thing on Beyond Blue. So there are 3 million Australians living with anxiety or depression, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, demand on Beyond Blue's services has increased by 40%. So we want to take this opportunity to check in and stay connected with our brokers during a time of isolation, and don't hesitate to call or email us if you'd like to chat. And if there's anyone watching this video that would like to support our fundraising efforts for Beyond Blue, please follow the link attached to this video. Thanks, Don, for your time today. We look forward to the next interview on gratitude.
I can't wait. Thanks, Nicole.